Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining our first Tuesday night all consultant Zoom back here in 2021. We are so excited to launch these off. I was just telling everybody a minute ago, wouldn't it be fun if you kept track of your own points? It would be the honor system. But for every Tuesday night Zoom you get on here, you get a point, right? It's like perfect attendance. For any Cincy event you register and attend and go to, you get 5 points, right? At the end of the year, keep track of your points, and then maybe the person with the highest points can get maybe something off their Amazon wish list or something. We'll award a few little winners with points. So I think it might be fun to keep track of your engagement and being tuned into your Cincy business and getting reward at the end of the year with maybe a really nice prize. So keep track of your points. It's definitely not something I can add to my list, but I trust all you guys. And maybe we might do it something like a booking blitz. So for every party you turn in off of a booking blitz, maybe we'll give points for that, or I don't know. I'll chat with the directors and we'll figure out what we can come up with, but I think we can come up with something pretty amazing. All right, well, let's rattle off our December numbers and celebrate our top sponsors and our top salespeople for the month of December of 2020. This is out of 2,075 people, okay? So if I say your name and you're in this top 10, way to go. That's incredible, okay? So top 10, let's start in the 10th place because we'll lead it up to the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 10th place, Tony O'Steven, I saw you come on here, newly promoted star consultant. She really has been laser focused on growing her business, and it shows. You were in 10th place out of 2,075 people in sales. A director, Emily Miller, is in 9th. Meredith Richardson in 7th. No, 10, 9, 8th. Sorry, I'm counting backwards and reading numbers. It's not good. I'm going to hold it up on my hand so I know which one I'm on. 8th place is Meredith Richardson. Myself is in 7th. 6th place, Ashley Seitz, a newly promoted lead consultant. Oh, I just lost my fingers. Okay, 5th place, Tina I, a star consultant. 4th place, Amanda Thome, another star consultant. Director Ashley Goebel in 3rd. You're on here. Congratulations. I changed my screen, so I can't even see y'all now. 2nd place, Superstar Director Sarah Caceres. And 1st place, Director Crystal Newsom. So congratulations to all of you. That's incredible PRV, considering half the month people usually start slowing down a little bit with the shipping status and all of that. So let's move to the other important aspect of our business, and that is going to be sponsoring. Oh, I saw a different number and I'm like, what? They sponsored 17 people. Whoa, what am I doing wrong? Okay, so all of these people still got a new recruit in December, which is amazing. Everybody got one. We didn't have anybody get 2 or more. Madison Humphrey, Annette Thomas, Karen Gamez, Meredith Richardson, Jessica Ortiz, Wendy Madsen, Holly Cullen, D. Artis White, Ashley Fleming, Emily Miller, Shannon Headley. Oh gosh. Runa, if you're on here, will you please just tell me how to say your last name? Runa Shahjahan. Oh, God, I know I'm making that so bad. Crystal Newsom, Amanda Ware, Ashley Seitz, Aaron Smith, Ashley Hillgartner, Andrea Ryder, Amy Edwards, Cheyenne Sexton, Tammy Treen, Nancy Dean, Holly Armstrong, and Krissa Cabral. Julie Eddy and Maddie Swain. Y'all are all on here. I see a lot of faces that I just called out. So congratulations to you guys for growing your business in December. Ultimately, you guys hear me talk about this over and over and over, how important it is bringing new people into this business. I hope you all are joining us in our Book of the Month Club. I am backwards. I don't, people say COVID fog is a thing, but I've become dyslexic with my words all the time. My sentences, it's my own language. I'm mumbling up words where it's not even words anymore. So it's fine. Y'all just get me, and you just know that it's just very normal. Grab this on Amazon. I started listening to it today. I'm on chapter 5 already. It is the shortest book ever. I despise reading. I feel when I start reading, I fall asleep by the second paragraph on every book that I read. I do not know why, but reading, I wish I could read more because you have to, but I've been listening. I'm on chapter 5 already. It's so good that I've already gone in the book and started highlighting and rereading chapters she did on the audio version. So please, please, please join us in this. This is incredible. If you're wanting to grow your business and know exactly what you're doing, it's Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. So it is probably one of the best books I think I have listened to in a very, very long time. This is what Jen Audette does in all of her training programs. Every consultant should honestly read this book before they can even click join on a starter kit, to be honest with you. It's that crucial and explains everything. Couple of things. Make sure you're registered for World Tour that is happening this month, January 22nd. It's all online. It's $11 to register. It's a tax write-off, and you are going to get way more value than that out of $11 by paying that in training and hearing from other consultants and speakers. Number 2, I posted earlier the mastermind event. Sarah Robbins is actually part of that mastermind event, along with a lot of other direct sales gurus, if you will, multi-level marketing, where they make millions of dollars. Like, they have paved the way, and what they say is gold. It was a two-day event. I paid hundreds of dollars to attend it because it's normally in a location. It was in San Diego. They canceled it and went online virtual. So I got to attend the 2 days of speakers, and they've slashed the price to $67 for 2 full days of training on December 11th and 12th. I have posted the link in Scented Community. Go on there and buy a ticket. We set up a Zoom and we watch it together. Everybody's muted. You're not talking. We talk during the breaks, but it's kind of fun just sitting on Zoom. We're all listening and we talk about what we learned. It was a lot of fun. So that is the mastermind event. So tonight we're going to talk and do a fun little activity. We're going to talk about active listening. And the reason why I wanted to talk about active listening is because there's 2 parts now that I'm listening to this book. And it's kind of cool because it's going to help me think of training topics and other directors as they're reading it going, oh, I think this is a great topic. So she was talking about prospecting and how it's a very, very important part of our businesses. And she says she defines it as looking for gold in the book. And what I love is she says prospecting is the process of talking to people in hopes that you will find some who are interested in joining you, in promoting your products or services, or in joining your business. In the process of these conversations, you'll sift through a lot of people to find a few who will join you. Then you'll have a lot of people join you of who will work at varying paces. Keep in mind, it only takes a few power partners to change your life. That's your gold. Remember, you may have to talk a lot to find those few, much like sifting for gold. And this is what my favorite part that she said in the book. If I told you that you had 3 gold bricks in your backyard, would you continue to dig until you found them? Yes. I mean, are you kidding me? Where's the shovel? Let me go get 2 more so Trace and my husband can start digging as well. Like, yes. And that's exactly what our prospecting is doing. We have to have the numbers, the side of the conversations that we're having and the people that we're prospecting. But what I think a lot of times is happening is this roadblock of the conversations, what to say, when to say what. That's what it's not happening enough of. And so tonight we are going to talk about conversations And in those conversations, you have to be an active listener, right? It's going to defeat the whole purpose if you're having the conversations, but you're not actively listening to the other person, to where it is going to retain or strike something in your head when you're active listening and go, oh, this might be a good time to say this, right? It teaches us a whole lot of different things. So active listening, and this is on your workstation, believe it or not, something that you can pull up. So I'm going to try to be very diligent about pulling trainings off the workstation to expand on, because I'm focused very much on duplicatable systems this year, to where if I am teaching you something tonight, you can go pull it off, print it off, or share it with your downline in the same manner. It shouldn't have to be a verbal lesson for me to teach you something, because then it's not duplicatable, right? People will deliver. It's a telephone game at that point. What I say to you and you tell your downline, by the time it gets to their downline and their downline, it's not a duplicatable system. So tonight you can type in prospect under training and click the little training filter, apply the filter, scroll through them, and you'll see all the active listening things that we're going to talk about. So during your next conversation that you have, keep the acronym RASA, R-A-S-A, in your mind to help you practice strong, active listening skills. RASA, R is for receive. Pay attention to the other person, receiving all of their information and what they are truly saying, right? I didn't pull up okay. A is appreciate. You want to nod and say affirming words like yes, sure, right? So that's the appreciate. The S is summarize. Restate in your own words what the other person is saying. That reaffirms that you're hearing what they're saying and acknowledging, I hear you, right? A is for ask. Ask questions to better understand and encourage the other person to continue. And then these other two sheets, we're not really going to go over them, but I want you to be aware that there is both of them are called self-reflection worksheet and active listening worksheet. It's pretty cool because the active listening, it has you think about a close family member or friend and what makes this person a good or not so good listener. You're going to read each statement and you can rate them on the active listening. And then there's also the same concept for you to rate and yourself as you're having a conversation with someone. So it is all started with open-ended questions, right? Typically when we have conversations and before we have the conversation though, you have to find the opportunity, right? You've got to get people to ask you about Scentsy. It may not necessarily be you telling them, it's going to get them to ask you about it. So when someone shows interest in your business and you have them hooked, there's no need to pressure them to buy, host, or join. The key is just to give enough information to make them ask for more. So step one is finding the opportunity to have those conversations. So finding opportunities to talk about Scentsy is easier than you think. You just need to find out something about a person or chat about a situation. Well, where can you find an opportunity? Standing in line at the supermarket. I think COVID is a very common conversation starter that you could probably bring up about it, 2020 sucking or COVID sucks. And everybody's going to relate to that, right? Everybody has probably hit everybody's home or household or family at this point. And so it is a common ground that we are all sick and tired of this life, what has brought us, right? Watching your child's game. If you're one of those parents or in a state where it is very few people in the stands or you're sitting 6 feet apart, think about that could be an opportunity as well. Having dinner at a restaurant, if somebody's waiting on you. In Texas, we're able to go into restaurants and it's all masked up. So have a conversation there. Playing at the park, waiting at the bank, going to sports clubs or gyms if they're open in your state. Today, when I had a flat tire and Discount Tire, you couldn't even go inside. You pulled up and a guy's got a clipboard and he's writing your info down and he's like, okay, pull into stall 2. The service guy will be out with you. Well, everybody's sitting in their cars. So I decide to get out of my car and eat my Chick-fil-A salad standing up at my car. And so I started striking up conversation in the car left and right, and the guy that works at Discount Tire with me. If I'm in my car and the window's up, how in the world am I going to meet people? You've got to be conscious of, where am I in a COVID society? We're all in our masks. I'm going to get out of my car and stand up. And one of the guys said, well, aren't you just killing 2 birds with 1 stone? And we immediately striked up conversation, right? We probably talked for a good 3 minutes. So you've got to find the opportunities. Yes, maybe some of this is not happening in your state. Use social media to the advantage then. Figure out what people are involved in that you can relate to offer some conversation, right? Okay. You can pay someone an authentic compliment, like Madi talked about on last week's call. I love your earrings. Where'd you get them? That's the cutest phone case. You have to tell me where you got it. Notice something maybe that they have. I noticed you have the new iPhone. Do you love it? That's a great conversation starter. What a cool item. Is that a gift for someone? You can use that in any situation if you're out and about shopping. Number 2, once you have the opportunity, you've got to find something to say. Now, starting a conversation doesn't have to be about something special. The goal is to begin a conversation that you can steer toward what you do for a living. It's all about open-ended questions. You can talk about general events. I wonder when the school festival kicks off this year. Do you happen to know? Or do you happen to know if we're going back to 5 days a week of school? You just ask a question where you got an open-ended answer, where it's open-ended question where they can answer you back. Is this the first time seeing this band live? Is the example on the sheet. You could also share your feelings about something. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for winter. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for this, the COVID to be over with, whatever it may be, right? I'm not ready for summer to start. I don't know what to do with the kids. You could also ask for an opinion or advice. I need help deciding which necklace would you choose. That's one of my favorite books. How do you like it so far? You can comment on a shared situation. I'm so excited to be at this yoga class. It's been a while since I've been able to come. Another one, is it usually this busy in here? You're commenting on a shared situation. Another opportunity is ask about their kids or pets. So which one is your kid? What a sweet dog. What's its name? People love talking about their little ones, and showing an interest in someone's child will usually elicit a happy response and a willingness to open up. Step 3, you can ask what they do for a living if the conversation is right. So when it feels natural, ask the other person what they do for a living. You may want to think of some responses to keep the conversation going for some common professions, such as a stay-at-home mom, teacher, or a nurse. Though it's tempting, don't tell them what you do for a living until they ask. It's very important. Step 4. When they do ask what you do for a living, tell them, I have a fragrance and home decor business. This response gives enough information to satisfy the question, but it's intriguing enough to encourage the other person to ask you to elaborate on what that is. Plus, it doesn't feel awkward or gimmicky or push someone away from the conversation. Trust me, this simple response works like magic. One of my favorite quotes, oh, they put it on the sheet too. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay, so in what we're going to do, oh good, everybody's got their cameras on. You are actually going to be divided up into a room with one other person. So you will need your camera on. Here are the rules. Be sincere. Be genuinely interested in who you're talking to and what they have to say. The person that will start talking first is the one with the soonest birthday coming up. If your birthday is the closest, today's date, today's January 5th, so whoever has the closest birthday is going to start the conversation first. Don't say anything about yourself unless they specifically ask you. For example, if they say they have kids, don't start talking about yours unless they ask. Remember, it's about them, not you. And here's the kicker. Don't mention Scentsy at all in the conversation. That y'all all have that in common, and you are not allowed to bring that up. That's is the hard part. Yes. But here's what this is teaching you. People can spot a pitch a mile away. So trust that it will naturally come up in conversation later, but y'all all share that common bond. So this exercise will really help you start asking questions to get natural conversation going with a stranger. I'm hoping you'll get paired with somebody you don't know really well on this page. And it's going to force you to have a conversation. Camera on, because you want to watch their body language. You want to see if you're going to do a reflection sheet on how the conversation went, you can rate it, right? Okay. Let me pair you up now. Breakout rooms. And we are going to put 2 people. Wait, how many participants do we have right now? 33. Okay, let's see. So all right, we need 17 breakout rooms. Shayna, if it puts you in one, somebody, I'll replace them in that room. Shayna, you just don't have to go to a room. All right, here we go. I might have to move some people around. It'll prompt you to join your room. You'll have five minutes. So Jacoby, I'm going to move you to room 16. And then let me see, Shayna. Okay, I'm going to put, oh, I did break a nail. Oh my gosh, sorry. Liz, I'm moving you to room 10. Okay. All right. I think we are good to go.
Heather, did you see Annette can't do one right now? She can't do a live?
Oh no, I'll remove them in a second then.
Okay.
I'll get everybody situated and then we'll arrange. And you'll have about 5 minutes. So who is not in the room with someone? Oh, Joshua, I'm going to move to 12. Okay, Joshua. And then Kathy, oh. It looks like Kathy's internet's frozen. Okay, Krista Hall does not have someone. Okay, I'm going to move to room 4. Okay. All right, let's see there. Okay, Lorraine, you should be good to go there. And then Nancy, let's get you in a room with someone. Okay, we need somebody in room 6. Oh, Shayna, you can come in one now? I'm going to put you in room 6 then. You're so cute. Good. Look at you. Okay. And then oh wait, let's move. I'm going to move to room 6. Sorry. Okay, Kathy, you should be good to go now. Perfect.
Heather?
Yeah, I think you're okay, girl. You don't have to join. I got 2 in every room. You're good.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
No,
You know how much I love the meetings.
No, you're totally fine, girl. You're totally fine. Okay, let me see who else we need to move over. 727. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear what y'all say. It's going to close out the rest of the rooms. And my friend Geraldine was calling me during the break. Oh, I forgot to stop the recording for the 5 minutes. Oh, well, I was muted. But she had so she was off for 2 weeks and then started her next round of chemo today. So she has a chemo treatment every week for the next 12 weeks. So she was calling me because she was telling me how it went. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to call her back. Okay. Let's see if we can get, oh, everybody's coming back. Good. Okay. So I cannot wait to hear what y'all say. All right. Who wants to share first? What did you find difficult? What was easy? Did you think of some good questions that you could ask that just naturally striked up conversation? And did you not mention Scentsy at all? Just kind of give me a summary. Who would like to go first? Just unmute. Okay, Renee.
So the artist and I were talking, and so my birthday is this weekend, so I got to go first. So we talked about family and kids and grandkids and what she does for a living. And she mentioned network marketing, and I didn't take the clue. And she says, I think you're supposed to be taking the clue here. And so we only talked about Scentsy when I said, oh, we're not supposed to talk about Scentsy, but she said, no, this would get you then into the lead to start talking about Scentsy. But
right. So how long did the conversation go without mentioning Scentsy? Did you find it difficult to carry on questions to ask one another? Was it naturally to have that conversation, or was it difficult?
It was natural because we talked about family, kids, grandkids, and then it led up to, so she lived in Arlington. I went to college in Arlington. So it's like, so what did you study? Merchandising. And then that's when it led up to, I said, but I've never done direct marketing.
Both Arlington.
Yes.
That's good.
Right.
That's awesome. All right. Who else wants to share? Okay, Amy, go ahead.
Oh, hi, I was with Diana.
Okay.
And when I just started talking about, because we're having very warm weather, that's always a good place to start. And asked her where she lived and what the weather was like there, because I know that it's not been winter here yet. So still waiting for that. But then we started talking about football. So that was really nice because, you know, my son plays and her family is very big OU fans. And so we never did mention Scentsy, but I feel like it could have gotten there when we started talking about what we do for a living. So, because I think that when you after you talk about something that you have in common, then you start asking about, so what is it that you do, you know, and then I think that just naturally leads to that, but we kind of ran out of time.
Okay. So do you feel like it was kind of, once you find that common ground or common denominator, do you feel like the conversation really goes in a give or take? It's like you find yourself stop talking because it's like, oh, I don't want to be the one talking the whole time. Like, did you catch the conversation really flowing naturally when it happened like that, once the common denominator happened?
Well, I think what I was really concentrating on was for the first part, because I had the earlier birthday, just listening to her. And actually, it was very fascinating what she was telling me about, that they've had their season tickets forever for OU. So, but I was trying to do that active listening where I was just letting her talk and responding to it. But it was very interesting what she was telling me. And then a lot of times I'll bring it up because people will ask me, what do you do? And I said, well, one of my jobs is nursing, you know, so, and then sometimes they'll go, well, what's your other job then? And then it'll just come up.
Yeah, that's good. That's smart. Because that's an open, they're curious now, what the heck is your other job, right? You're
right.
motivating them. That's smart.
But then we just naturally flipped. And then she was doing the active listening, asking me about my family and where we lived and et cetera. So
Good,
I
good.
think we both did a really good job. Diana, you can weigh in on this of doing active listening for each other, which I kind of thought that was our goal for the exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I agree totally with everything said.
good. Yay.
Very easy conversation.
Good, good. Okay. Who else?
But it felt natural. Anyway.
Good. That's good. That's how it's supposed to feel, right?
Yes.
Who else would like to share on their experience?
I'll share. Me and Dee got to talk, and she said, "When's your birthday?" And she's like, "Oh, that means I have to go first." But I thought she did such a good job, just actively asking me questions and really listening to what I had to say. We did not talk about Scentsy. I actually thought it was going to be harder, but I might have got hung up on the fact that she sees snow on a regular basis, and I told her I've only seen snow like maybe 3 times in my life. So I think we just got stuck on that, but that was a lot of fun for me. So we talked just more weather and family. We kind of mentioned about our kids and stuff, but I was really proud of her because I know that I would say in the first 30 seconds or so, she was trying really hard to just, do exactly what you had asked and thinking that she had to start a conversation, but y'all know I can talk to anybody. So
Yes, you
we
can.
did not get to Scentsy, but it was still a lot of fun.
That's good. That's good. Dee, were you nervous to do this exercise?
I have done so much teaming and so much Zooming and so much, I'm way more used to it. I went through I work in social work, so I went through a lot of parenting education trainings where we broke off into groups and stuff. So at first I was kind of like, all right, I was stuck on the birthday thing. I was like, please don't let me be first. Please don't and then as soon as she said she was July and I was June, I was like, dang it. But I think it went really well. Like she said, we talked about a lot, stayed really away from, it was a lot easier to talk about other things. I didn't concentrate on not talking about Scentsy, and I think that helped. I just kind of went with the flow of whatever.
And what was the fear about you having the earlier birthday?
Just kind of the going first and making sure that I had like a good conversation starter. I'm a very social being, being in social work and having to knock on strangers' doors a lot, but for me, it's just coming up with that first question that's going to be conversation striking, plus not knowing if the person is sociable themselves, or if it's going to have to be that pull on the conversation the entire time, or if they're going to be, as either equally outgoing or, semi outgoing at least, so.
Right. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Because how many customers do you have or potential hosts that you have that maybe aren't the same personality as you or socially, where you are going to have to make the first move? Because in your job that you do, you are pretty much coming in very confident in what you're working. You're there as the savior or the protector or the person that's coming in. Whereas in this situation, you made yourself vulnerable because now you're leading a dance with someone that you don't really know. And it's not like knocking on someone's door. It's like, oh gosh, what am I going to say? I don't even know this person. It's a different atmosphere. And so
yeah, like you also mentioned like COVID being a good conversation starter, but for me, like that makes me nervous because so many people close to me lost people.
Yep.
So I don't want to strike that chord either,
Right.
So I was like, no, please don't talk about COVID.
Right. But you don't have to necessarily say it in the sense too of, are you ready for this to be over? And you could just say, man, I don't think I can take another loss of this.
Yeah, it's true.
People relate in different ways. There's different sides to every coin. So it doesn't always have to be upbeat and happy and motivational. It's still life that people relate to, right? So keep that in mind.
Very true. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Who else wants to share on their thoughts and opinions of conversation with a stranger and not talking Scentsy? Sure, Nancy. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, there you go.
I paired up with Kathy. Her picture just disappeared on me. I got her middle name, Kathy Thornton. I don't remember her second.
Yep, I see her. I know
There
Kathy.
she is. I went first since I'm older. I noticed her earrings right off the bat, so I told her how pretty her earrings were. And she asked me if I had any dogs, and we just started talking about dogs. We never talked about Cincy. We talked about what kind of dogs we had and how many, and the difference between the breeds. And it was interesting. It was nice.
So do you think it's was pretty easy with the compliment, like saying the compliment first? Do you think it kind of opened the gates a little bit easier?
I can talk to anybody.
Right. Like
Uh-huh.
Kathy, you felt that the compliment was natural, like when Nancy opened up, like it felt genuine and
Yeah, it did. And then I don't even know how we got on dogs, but
Either.
I could talk about dogs all day. I love dogs. I love my dogs.
And we were still talking, and it brought us back here. We didn't even finish.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. Okay, good. I love that. So I'm going to revisit that point that you just made right before we end this call, but I was hoping that would happen to somebody, and thank you for telling me that. That's really good. Same thing happened to Holly, she's saying. Good. Awesome. All right, who else? Anybody else want to share?
So I was in a room with Kathleen, and the only part that I know I struggled with, and we both kind of bounced off of each other and said it's an issue, is asking what somebody does for a living, because I just always feel really awkward asking, like, oh, so what do you do? Like, it eventually comes up, but is there a good way to ask, or do you just wait for the conversation to go that way?
I think you should wait for the conversation to go that way when there's a little bit of conversation. I wouldn't necessarily lead out the gate. So what do you do for a living? I would probably wait for it to be a little bit more natural and come up maybe after some conversation. Yeah. Anybody else want to share on theirs? Okay, so I loved this exercise for a couple of reasons. In our job, we have to be having conversations with strangers all the time. Every single day, every single week, you should be meeting people and having conversations, looking for every opportunity that you can. Naturally bring it up. 2, when you come to Cincy events or you are on training calls, like Nancy said, we weren't done talking. Nancy and Kathy probably did not know each other prior to this call tonight. And it sounds like they have a lot of similarities right now, which very well could be the beginning of a connection. Y'all both have the foundation of Cincy and wanting to be 100% in your business and make it a go, right? We all love that. And we all share that common ground of being entrepreneurs and being successful. But you have to show up and connect and have those conversations with people instead of being silent. There are several of you on here that maybe have never had conversations with each other before. And I encourage you, friend each other on Facebook tonight. Find each other, connect. If the conversation couldn't stop, or you really enjoyed it or want to keep the conversation going, connect with each other. The more you're plugged into this business and to other like-minded people, the better it is for your business. It's really hard to gain momentum when you are a solo person in this business. And in all the depressing things that are happening in our world, it's very easy to get in a funk. And if you are not a strong-minded person, like laser-focused, crazy person, really like me, I still get in a funk, but it's not for very long. I'm very driven, and not everybody's like that. So it's very important to be around like-minded people that can pull you up when you are down. And so if you are occasionally coming into trainings or not meeting people or interacting on the group page, it's hard to have opportunities to let people in if you're not sharing and giving them the opportunities to ask questions, right? So I want to encourage all of you to keep the conversations going, keep connecting with people to where you can open up and learn more about each other and build these lists of our prospects that you are going to eventually have them become a customer, a host, or a new team member. But it all starts with conversations, is the opportunity to open your mouth and say something. And it doesn't have to be Cincy out the gate. It just has to be put a smile on your face and strike up a conversation to where you have an opportunity to further the conversation, to have another person in your life to share Cincy with. It's got to happen organically. So until you're comfortable with striking up conversations, it may take you a little bit longer. So practice, 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 practice. You can do it safely in our group. If there's a person that asks a question or comments, send them a message and say, hey, I was watching last week's training call and I saw you comment and I'd love to know, thanks for making this document, or, hey, do you have any dogs? Send them a weird question and just start a conversation with another consultant in our group to see if it happens naturally. The more you practice, the better you become at it. All right, questions, comments? Who all is participating in our book this month? I just kind of want a show of hands of who, because we might end up chatting about this. I'm going to start. So every week, what I'll do is I'll probably start the Zoom a little bit early, about 10 or 15 minutes. And Jacoby, you can listen to it on Audible if you want. It is seriously 100 and something pages. I did 5 chapters in less than 30 minutes today, pretty much. So it's really fast. It's not bad. So what I'll do is I'll just start every week. Well, I might start about 15 minutes early. That way, if we want to get on and talk about what we learned, or if you want to put it in the thread under the book with the hashtag, you can do that too if it's in between. But this is a good one. This is a really good one. So hang tight. We will see you guys next Tuesday. This Thursday is our returning Thursday night shift Zooms. So we will see you Thursday night again. Thanks so much for getting on, everybody, and y'all have a great night.
Thank you. Have a good night, Heather.
All right,
and everybody.
you too. Bye.